She's got a few tricks up her sleeve. Going to save us some money for our Halloween treats. Hey, Vic.
Hey, good morning, Hoda, Savannah, Craig. Look, the leaves are barely changing colors, but Halloween shopping is well underway. Why it's expected to be a record spending year, and some easy ways you can still save money and have a beautiful holiday. That's next, right here on Today.
Tis Vicky Nguyen joins us with some tips. You've got some ideas.
Hi, good morning to you all. Gosh, can you believe we're already spending? Halloween is more than a month away, but experts say start your shopping now. Everything from candy and costumes to decorations is expected to cost more this year. But with a little planning, you don't have to pull any tricks to get some cheap treats. And you can also look for costume swaps in your community on Facebook Marketplace or Nextdoor. That's a great way to get a fresh look without spending any money, and it's more sustainable to reuse those costumes. One of my favorite hacks, Craig calls it lazy. I think it's clever. You go on the internet, you look for a wordplay costume like identity thief. That could be your normal clothes. You just put some name tags on your shirt or Smarty pants, tape some Smarties candies onto your jeans. Boom, done, costume
I
solved.
saw one guy who dressed up as a blind date. He had a hefty bag tied around his neck, stuffed it with paper, put on glasses, and had like a walking stick. And I said, what are you? He said, I'm a blind date. I was like,
garbage bag.
so easy.
That's pretty clever.
Yeah.
That's
Under
pretty
the
clever.
sink. You got it. Done.
Yeah. Done and done.
Have you picked out your costumes for this year yet?
Did you see? I was in my 11-year-old's scarecrow costume.
Yeah.
I think Halloween's for kids for me. But I'm looking forward to the Today Show Halloween.
Yes, it's going to be
Can't
good.
wait.
Exactly.
So are we.
Thanks, Vic.
Thank you, Vicky. Let's head over to...
Hi, everyone. Good Thursday. We're so glad you could be with us. I'm Vicky Nguyen.
Thanks for joining. I'm Morgan Radford, and NBC News Daily starts right now.
Welcome to NBC News Daily. We start with breaking news out of New York City, where conservative media titan Rupert Murdoch is
This Thursday, let's jump right into it. We know that Murdoch has one of the most, frankly, storied careers in media that spans almost 70 years. What else do we know about this particular decision, the timing, and frankly, Brian, do we know the extent of his involvement from this point forward?
That's right. He has been moved the Fox lawsuit. Rupert was not nearly as engaged and involved as he should have been when there were lies being spread on his network. So this is a moment that confirms what had been in the works for a while, but it's still surprising given that he famously said he never wanted to retire.
Brian, you are covering this family. You've covered them extensively. You're writing a book. How do you think that his departure will affect the kind of the day-to-day of Fox News, especially as we are now in this election cycle for 2024?
Joining us, we appreciate it.
Morgan, there is an urgent manhunt in Indiana today to find a murder suspect who was accidentally set free from jail. 28-year-old Kevin Mason was let go because of a clerical error. This, according to officials there. And now they're asking the public for any information that could help locate this man. NBC News correspondent Kathy Park is live in Indianapolis for us this afternoon. So, Kathy, police waited 6 days to tell the public about Mason's release by accident. How exactly did this happen, and why did they wait so long?
Hey, Vicky, good to be with you.
We just went through this whole thing with Danilo Cavalcante in the Pennsylvania county there. How are folks in this area, reacting at this point?
Now for our CNBC Money Minute, your heating bills might be slightly lower this winter if you heat with natural gas. It's expected to cost an average of $726 this coming season, which is down nearly 8% from this time last year. That's all according to the National Energy Assistance Directors Association.
CNBC reporter Bertha Coombs joins us now. So, Bertha, why are we seeing natural gas costs dropping this winter? And also, can folks who heat with oil expect similar relief?
Well, on both sides, it's really the classic somebody else is footing the bill.
I like that. And that is why you are at CNBC and helping us watch out for our money. CNBC reporter Bertha Coombs. Thanks so much, Bertha. An update to the Federal Trade Commission's massive lawsuit against Amazon after the retail giant allegedly deceived customers into signing up for Amazon Prime and then complicated the cancellation process.
Yesterday, in a new filing, the FTC named 3 top Amazon executives who they say had a hand in orchestrating this deceptive business strategy. NBC News correspondent Noah Pransky is with us now here on set. So, Noah, walk us through who were these 3 executives the FTC called out, and what does the agency say they are responsible for doing?
So they aren't household names. Neil, Lindsay, Jamal, basically ignore them altogether because it was good for Amazon's business to have these accidental signups. In addition, there was another big piece of this revealed yesterday. The FTC basically documented how they believe. Yeah, so this was a labyrinth that Amazon allegedly created to make it hard for someone to you couldn't cancel in one click. It was a process, and that's all why they say it violates consumer law.
But that's about the cancellation. How are they duping customers into signing up for it? And frankly, how much more were they paying?
Yeah, so originally Amazon Prime was $99. There was documentation that there were a lot of people who accidentally signed up, and once you did,
you're on the hook for that subscription.
Yeah.
What's Amazon saying?
So we got a statement yesterday from them. They deny all wrong. This is a part, we've seen a lot of this from the Biden administration, FTC going after big companies. Sometimes they win, sometimes they lose, but their hope is at the end of the day, they're at least moving the ball a little bit down the field in favor of the consumer.
That nickname, the Iliad,
I was
though?
just thinking about that.
That's not a good look.
Confusing labyrinth of a journey.
Yeah.
All right, Noah Kransky, thank you for taking us through that confusing alleged labyrinth.
Alleged. Thank you, Noah. All right, well, a group of best-selling authors, including George R.R. Martin, he's the one who wrote Game of Thrones, and novelist John Grisham, they filed a class action suit against OpenAI. That is the maker of ChatGPT.
Now, they claim that OpenAI took their writings without permission and then used the data to allegedly recreate versions of their copyrighted work. NBC News correspondent Stephanie Gosk has more on the new legal battle. Welcome back this Thursday. Thanks again for joining us. I'm Morgan Radford.
I'm Vicky Nguyen. Here's what's making news right now.
Well, we're now in day 7 of the auto workers union strike, and the UAW is still holding pretty steady in its standoff with the big 3 car makers.
It is now threatening more walk-offs if serious progress isn't made by noon tomorrow. NBC News correspondent Maggie Vespa is live along the picket lines in Toledo, Ohio for us. Maggie, good to see you. So we just heard from union members. What is President Biden saying, and does he plan on meeting with these striking workers anytime soon?
Yeah, so the White House is remaining relatively mum on the issue, even more walkouts, guys.
Now, Maggie, we see those workers who are on strike behind you, but GM and Stellantis also laid off more than 2,000 workers yesterday who weren't on strike.
Yeah.
Why?
Exactly.
Really important. All right, NBC News correspondent Maggie Vespa, day 7 for us. Thanks so much, Maggie.
In Florida, a man is facing murder charges after police say he shot his neighbor over a tree trimming disagreement.
Yeah, the victim's family says he was shot in front of his 8-year-old son. NBC News correspondent Stephen Romo has more on the deadly dispute.
To use a stand your ground defense.
Our thanks to Stephen Romo for that disturbing story.
That was a hard one. All right, the Federal Reserve is pausing interest rate hikes.
That magical 2% we're trying to get to. But could this decision, affect the Fed's decision later in the year about interest rate hikes?
Yeah, so for what it's worth, we heard that, okay, the Fed didn't raise interest percent that we're at right now. Right. The Fed has said, all right, let's just wait and see what the bite is. And if it goes up, then we can raise interest rates again further. So it's basically a wait and see approach.
Wait and see.
That wait and see for that elusive 2%. Yeah. I mean, as someone who is desperately praying for the day that I can refinance, please, what does this mean for the rest of us? Could we see those mortgage rates go even higher?
Well, see, that's the thing, right? Everyone's thinking about, oh my gosh, the 3% rates that we used to have not so long ago in 2020.
2.75 for some of us.
Right now, the Fed is saying we're not even thinking about it for right now. So you're seeing 7% mortgage rates. Some people are saying maybe we might even see 8% rates at some point. That seems to be the case with the Fed saying we want to keep these interest rates high to make inflation come down. So it's going to be a bit tough for people that are looking for that 3%.
Brian, a knife
hashtag
to my heart.
Sorry.
Stay strong.
Sorry.
Stay strong.
Hashtag pray for me. Hashtag receiving prayers. Thank you, Brian Chung. We appreciate you and your prayers.
All right, well, authorities are now looking at new results from the initial autopsy of the New England Patriots fan who collapsed and died after a stadium fight.
As Top Story anchor Tom Yamas reports, new eyewitness testimony and medical history in the autopsy. They're giving investigators a much closer look at the exact cause of this unexpected death.
Our thanks to Top Story anchor Tom Yamas for that report.
And
no secret, getting mental health care in this country hasn't always been easy or affordable, especially for people who are dealing with drug and alcohol use. According to the department,
Kelly Kitley, as well as the author of Myself, which touches on your struggles with substance abuse. Kelly, it's great to see you. Thank you for joining us this Thursday. Can we just start right there? This is a personal story for you.
It is. It is. I have a long family line because it's a self-medicating technique and it shuts everything out. And it's very cyclical. So a lot of times when people are feeling depressed, they will drink alcohol trying to numb, but alcohol is a depressant. And so
you just touched on it there, substance use disorder, but also the link to mental illness. Why is it so hard to separate the two, and why do they feed off of each other?
Because oftentimes when people are eliminated, for me to have to feel.
People don't want to have to carry the burden alone, and we're seeing all these studies uncover that there's a growing link for women specifically and substance abuse. Can you explain a little bit why that is?
Sure. So this is edge off, and it's so acceptable in our society. So it's an easy go-to. My message is, let's not wait until we reach rock bottom. Let's be preventative, working with a therapist, having a support system, and people in your corner who aren't questioning why you're giving it up, but really supporting you and congratulating you on your journey.
And by the way, congratulations on 10 years.
Yes.
Can we talk about the recovery, because it has to be challenging. We hear people say, take it one day at a time. What are some of the ways that you are able to manage and to stay in recovery? And is there such a thing as healing, or is it just something you work at every day, like you exercise or you try to eat healthy?
That is absolutely right. And so in recovery, I make a connection in that way.
Exactly.
And I have 4 kids, and I have to model for them. And they're in high school now, and so such pressure.
And they don't know what to do with those feelings. For anyone who might be watching this segment right now, a woman who perhaps is thinking, let me explore my relationship with this substance. How did you know? What was the turning point where you said, well, hold on, this is a little bit different and it may be problematic?
It takes a long time, which is why
there should be no shame in asking those questions and taking those steps.
But there's a lot of pride. We feel very proud.
Oh, goodness, yes. And I hope that message is portrayed. It is a beautiful place to be.
Thank you for coming on with us. Licensed clinical social worker Kelly Kitley, and congratulations on 10 years of recovery.
Thanks, Kelly.